$WARD nigga. NAYIMED.
Welcome to my channel. My name is Nayim. I am your host, and today hip hop and rap culture is bleeding, and it is bleeding all over and all into every industry, every sector, every culture, everything. Today we're going to be talking about that, but specifically in relation to the NBA and Ja Morant. We know that hip hop has inspired and influenced every single person in every single culture that knows anything about hip hop culture, from streetwear to how people do commercials to how people even talk, just even the smallest little things to how people interact with each other. Hip hop and rap is responsible for a lot of the stuff that we see in the mainstream today. I credit Allen Iverson for the urbanization. Shout out to AI. He from across the bridge down here in Virginia. I credit him. Ignore the cat. I credit Allen Iverson for the urbanization because he was the first person on like a mainstream level that just completely rejected how the NBA was navigating and how it was moving. Not in a disrespectful type of a way, but it was a way where the music and the culture started. I'm talking about rap music, and the hip hop culture started to take that twist, and he brought his flair and his flavor while everybody else was all suited up and booted up and doing everything they was doing. He did what he wanted to, whether it was from how he dressed when he walked out and the braids and how he talked and how he maneuvered. That is all Allen Iverson. And ever since Allen Iverson, it has just taken on a life of its own. We're going to be talking about Ja Morant. You know, what is the NBA? First, let's talk about what the NBA is. Whether you like sports and whether you don't like sports, or you somewhere in between, or you're a casual sports watcher or viewer or participant or whatever, right? What the NBA, and this is really all sports teams, but specifically the NBA is always been held up to this standard of they are about family, they're about charity, they're about giving back. It is as squeaky clean as Disney. And if you didn't know, Disney owns Sports Center. So this is what sports, even though we know sports is deeper than what I'm talking about on the surface level, the NBA is all about that family, that charity, that giving back. They're about the children. They're about helping people. They're about grown men. It's supposed to be about grown black men giving off a positive image. So when you have somebody, let's just say like LeBron, come out, because make no mistake about it, the NBA is not interested in any type of disruptions. You can speak your piece, maybe. You can have your beliefs, possibly, but it's not going to be no coming over here and disrupting that system. That is a real dyed in the wool system they have going over there. So you might not be able to, you might have to get permission to wear a Black Lives Matter shirt, or you're going to have to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Just little things like that. You're going to come out there and you're going to show your patriotism. Point blank, period. You're not going to be you're not supposed to be all out here acting no type of fool and acting no type of way. Over the years, we saw it. If you remember, like, you didn't even have to go to college to be a part of the NBA at one point. Now they make it a requirement. You need to have, some type of college education, and depending on what team you're on, people have different, we don't have to get into all of that. But the NBA is it has an image that they are going to maintain. They're trying to maintain it. And when we have people like Ja Morant who come in, and he is young, because I don't call grown adults children, boys, young kids. Like, a young kid is 11, a young kid is 8, a young kid is not 22 or 23 years old. That's a grown man, perfectly capable of knowing right from wrong and making their own decisions. Ja Morant comes in, but he is a product of his environment, as far as that generation of people who they grew up on the internet. They wasn't raised by OGs. They was raised by IG. They might not have had everything that they needed, or they was just so indoctrinated in the technology age. Because if Ja Morant is 23 years old, he was born in 2000. That's really, like, if you a little bit older than that, or because I was born in the early 90s, if you was, born in 93, 94, somebody being born in 2000, it sounds crazy. Especially since a lot of our parents are still on this side of eternity. Your mama born in 64. Your mama born in 1960. Your mama was born in 1970 or something like that. So you was born in 2000. That kind of in your mind kind of equates to you was just, you still a child. So that's how people might get that confused. But Ja Morant and his behavior is 100% unacceptable in relation to the NBA, because make no mistake about it, no matter how much you feel like you're a part of a culture, no matter how much you feel like you belong to the street or you belong to somebody else, when you go and you decide that you're going to go be a professional, you need to conduct yourself as a professional, especially in a system that you don't run and you don't control. They let Ja Morant, off the hook for that first gun or whatever. So, you flashing and you waving your gun in the camera because that's what people do. And it might, people will be like, oh, he want to be a street nigga so bad. He want to do this. He want to do that. To me personally, it doesn't really matter what he wants to do, because you are a leading member of a sports organization. Therefore, when you decided that you wanted to be a basketball player, because you go all the way back, they had his pictures from his Instagram when he was like 11 or 12 or 15, however old he was. You wanted to do this for a very long time. So to put yourself in a position where you take for granted, because people will always say, oh, somebody around him is a fed, somebody around him want to see him lose, why is somebody always recording when he's around? If you're new to this channel, you're going to understand that one of the dynamics and the requirements of being over here is personal responsibility. We do not point the finger at other people first. We correct ourselves, and this is what it's about, correction. We correct ourselves first, and then we handle whatever's happening. We can't control the environment. However, we can control ourselves. So we create and we can foster our own environments that don't have nothing to do with that. I'm not against nobody having no gun. Actually, I feel like everybody should have a gun no matter what job you do. Point blank, period. But we're not going to sit here and we can't point the blame and be like, oh, somebody's always trying to put him in a position to fail. Why are you setting yourself up to be put in a position to fail? If you are a part of the National Basketball Association, you understand that your image needs to be one of a clean one. That doesn't mean you can't be edgy. That doesn't mean you can't, because we know what sports really is. However, when you become a part of somebody else's stuff, you need to go by their rules. Point blank, period. I'm not one of them wild, reckless people who is just like, oh, you should be able to do what you want. You can do what you want when you do have your own stuff and you made your own stuff. You didn't make your own league. You're not in charge of paying yourself. You're a high value. You're a high paid employee. So when you go to your job and your job says no drugs on camera, no drugs at all, no guns on camera, no cursing on camera, no foul language or heavy language, no social justice warrior behavior, no disrespecting the American flag. You better know the Constitution inside and out. You better tuck your shirt in when you come in here. You have to do that. You don't have a say in that because that's not your industry to control. Point blank, period. I don't feel bad for him for getting suspended. Maybe this will put you in a position where you stop taking your blessing for granted. And I'm not even going to go as far as say you're in a position that other people would never be able to. Most people don't make it to the NBA. It don't matter what most people do, because I didn't get suspended from work. So you are the person that's missing out. I'm not missing out. The game still go on and on. It's going to go on for 100 more years. He needs to stop doing this kind of stuff. Control yourself first and then worry about what other people is doing. We have to stop putting ourselves in this position where it's always somebody else's fault. It do be other people's fault. However, look at what you did in the situation, because look at how he's acting and behaving. I'm not doing something one time is okay. Making a mistake twice is okay. But once you start doing stuff more than whatever, it's called a pattern. So now you have a pattern. This is what you're going to keep doing. We let you off the hook and you said, I'm sorry the first time. Then you riding down the street, you feeling the music. You know what I'm saying? And my thing is, especially being in that area that's so culturally rich, Memphis, you riding down the street, Moneybag Yo come on, Yo Gotti, Dolph come on, all them people, they music and stuff. Finesse 2 Times come on. So now you know that music get inside you and you start feeling it. That's why when you riding down the street, you might start driving faster depending on what the song is. You might stop paying attention and not paying attention like take your eyes off the road, but you might just be completely unaware because you're so immersed in the music and in the songs. And especially when the music is matching up with wherever the concentration of wherever that culture is at that specific time and in that specific area, you just ride down the street, you Ja Morant, you ride down the street, whoever gave you the gun. Because my thing is if you can legally, because I'm pretty sure you can legally have a firearm, why don't you just legally get your gun and do that? It's plenty of people who be on camera with their legal fire. I mean, it's so many things that you could have done to prevent yourself from getting in any kind of trouble. You could have come out as I'm protecting my family advocate. Like, my thing is, there's so many routes and so many ways than trying to be like people you see on the internet. And that's another thing. We think that these people have that liberation. We think that these people, oh my God, he in the NBA, I would love to do that. You actually might not love to do that, because you got to think about when you have somebody like these people. Like, Beyonce is not just able to just walk around and do what she wants to. Ja Morant can't walk around and do whatever he wants to. You're a superstar. And you're probably more of a, maybe not if it was a Beyonce, but you're more of a star because you have the visibility, because you're in the NBA. Don't care what's going on in the culture. You are family friendly, children friendly. Y'all always on the court signing shoes and talking to handicapped people and St. Jude's and all this. Everything I be saying be rhyming. That's crazy. But just all this stuff, these people are casted in a bubble. So they don't get to have that freedom where if I got on Instagram Live and I put my guns on Instagram Live, nobody would care. A lot of people don't know who I am. Even your favorite rapper getting on Instagram Live, Facebook Live, folding up guns and doing all type of stuff. That's what they're supposed to do because they're rappers. A rapper, unless a kid requesting, a rapper not just walking up into St. Jude's like that. A rapper is usually not family friendly, not whatever friendly. They don't even really make radio versions of stuff that you can easily access no more. I guess you could because of streaming. But like, we know what a rapper is. We know that when we hear them songs, it don't matter how much a person say, oh, I love the kids, I love the kids, I love the kids. There's places and access that a rapper does not have opposed to an NBA player. So when you start feeling like them and you start feeling that and you're casted in this bubble, them people looking at people like us, me and you, because I'm talking to you, they looking at people like us like, oh my God, they so free. They can do whatever they want to do. They can go wherever they want to go. Them people feel like they missing out. They don't feel like superstars. They don't feel like they can have normal people in a normal life and normal behavior and walk the street because they can't do it. So you thinking, you're going to go against the grain, Ja Morant. You're going to go against the grain, Ja Morant-minded people. And you're going to just start going rogue. But the system is always going to get you for going rogue. And sometimes there's instant results. And sometimes the results come later. You have to learn from the bad stuff that you do. You have to learn to be proactive and not reactive. Because now, your first apology, we're going to go back to it, you didn't mean that. Even though it's ridiculous to have to apologize because this is the United States of America, more guns than it is people. I shouldn't have to apologize for being a 2A because my thing is I would have just spun it. I'm a 2A advocate. I'm a legal firearm possessor. And this is what, in the wake of all these school shootings, we're just talking about protecting our family and being responsible and teaching our children this. You could have did something with hunting. It's all type of things, but you don't have nobody around you to tell you to be smart. You're being raised by rap music. Your favorite rapper is raising you, even as a grown man, because you're young, so you don't have a lot of life experience and you don't really know. And it's just a different time and a different spot in the culture where anything goes. They've made it so anything goes and everything is acceptable and people can do whatever they want to and call themselves whatever they want to. This could identify as a toaster oven if it wanted to. And it's nothing nobody would say about it because it's just like we just really you're so worried about regular everyday life. You're not worried about this lamp talk about, put the setting on bagel or something like that. Like, that doesn't even make sense. But it's just like, that's what we are. He's getting what he deserves. He's a threat to their institution because you're not about to come in here and bust this up. You're not about to come in here and try to make all these, because everybody watches sports. Everybody watches the NBA. Everybody. It don't matter if you speak English or not. It don't matter if you from here, if you aspire to come here. Sports is the medium where we know, like I said in the beginning, it's deeper than what they are saying, but it's not. Sports ain't in the street, regardless of what y'all want to say or whatever. That's a real organization. You're not about to come in here and ruin this and have people thinking it's okay to flash guns and do all that. And that's what I had to say today. I hope everybody had a good holiday. It's something on my hand. I also got stung. I got bit by a spider right here. That jump was crazy. Anyway, my name is Nayim. That was
YIMEDWARD $, nigga. NAYIMED.